Happy Saturday, everyone. My name is Caleb Bright. I've been a business owner the last 5 years, and for anyone that's new to my following, I've sold solar the last 5 years as an entrepreneur, meaning I have not been under a payroll or gotten W-2'd by any other company the last 5 years. Today I'm going to break down LLCs and S Corps since it's so popular and it's the cool thing to have nowadays on social media. So what is an LLC and what is an S Corp? An S Corp is a single corporation or a sole proprietorship, and an LLC is a limited liability company. Now there's benefits for both of these. If you have liability with what you do, I would recommend getting an LLC. If you don't have liability, just go with the S Corp. You shouldn't have any of these unless you're making 6 figures a year. The reason I say this is because you have to pay $1,000 annually just to renew your business with your state each year. So even if you show no money, your business making, you're still gonna have to pay around $1,000 each year to keep that business active and renew it. So it varies from state to state, but me personally, I have a corporation. It's called Dubs Inc. So whatever I make each year, it is not Caleb that makes the money. It's not me that makes the money. It's my corporation. So if my corporation makes $200,000 and I have 100 grand of business expenses, well, it allows me to pay myself a salary. So if I make $200,000 and I have $100,000 in write-offs, now there's 100 grand in taxable income. Instead of being taxed in the six-figure percentage for that whole 100 grand, it allows you to pay yourself a salary out of that 100 grand. So let's say you want to pay yourself a salary of 30 grand and your kids a salary of 10 grand. Well, now it breaks it into smaller increments, so you're not paying such a high percentage on taxes. I remember my first year in solar, I made it was 180 something thousand, and I remember me having an S Corp saved me it was about $20,000. If I wouldn't have had an S Corp, I would have paid $20,000 more in taxes that year. But also, if you have an S Corp or an LLC, it allows you so much more freedom. You can write off anything and everything. You go to Taco Bell at 1 a.m. Maybe you had to eat that so you can be up in time to go to a customer's house. That's a write-off. Anything and everything you use for work is a write-off. Another reason that an LLC might be beneficial to you is that it protects you come liability. Nobody can come after your personal assets if everything you own is under your LLC. A lot of wealthy people, if you notice, their home, their cars, they don't own anything. Everything's in their business's name. So therefore, if they were to get sued for anything in the future or something were to happen to their business, nobody can come after their personal assets because it's under their LLC's name or their corporation's name. But do not get an LLC or an S Corp unless you're making $100,000 because it does not make sense. The reason I say that is because if you're not making 100 grand, you're really not paying that much taxes yet. So it doesn't make sense for you to add $1,000 to your monthly expenses each month if you're not really touching 6 figures yet. Once you touch 6 figures, you need to get an LLC or an S Corp, especially if you're an entrepreneur or you're self-employed like myself. So look them up, see which one's better for you. If you personally don't have any liability, like me, I knock doors and I don't really have any liability with what I do, so I don't need an LLC. So I have an S Corp. But also I've had an S Corp the last 5 years and it's saved me over 6 figures that I would have had to pay in taxes just having it. So another thing is you have so much more options for write-offs. If you have an LLC or an S Corp, you're a lot more limited. If you don't have a business like an LLC or an S Corp, you're more likely to be limited on what you can write off. If you're W-2 though, taxes are automatically taken out your check. You're not going to be able to do this unless you're doing like another business on the side or something where you get checks and the taxes are not taken out. In other words, if you're 1099. If you get a side job and you're 1099, then you can get an LLC or an S Corp. It's not cool to just have it because everyone thinks it's the popular thing to have. This is real numbers we're talking about. Like, don't play with your life. Like, if you're not making six figures, be honest with yourself and don't have one. Don't have one just to look cool. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. If you guys want tips on finances, taxes, sales, solar, how to be a better man, how to come from nothing, please share this video, share it with a friend, subscribe, and I'm going to share my story with you guys of how I started sleeping on a cot 5 years ago with no money, and now I have over $800,000 in assets, and I've had no handouts. I've done this all from door to door, all from knocking doors, from door to door sales. Thanks for tuning in.